Hi everyone, happy March. So we're gonna start in a supported bridge. So if you have a block, please bring it with you. If you don't have a yoga block at home, you could use a rolled up towel, you could use some pillows, you could use some blankets, just whatever to give your hips a little bit of height. And that's where we'll begin. So if you are using a block, you're welcome to keep it on the low or medium setting. If you feel super open and ready to get it a little higher, you can. I'm just going to start low. The block or the towel or pillows, whatever you're using, we want it to be right beneath your sacrum, and that's that kind of flat, bony part of the very lower back, the base of the spine. And once you are in position, it should hopefully feel like your entire pelvis is supported by whatever's beneath you. So we're transitioning further up our chakra ladder toward the sacral chakra, Svadhisthana, in the month of March. And this chakra is responsible for your right to feel and your right to want. So when I think of your right to feel, be expressive, to desire, to find joy and pleasure, specifically in relation to our physical yoga practice, it makes me think of just giving yourself permission to do what feels good. Like as simple as that. If you're anything like me, there's oftentimes this feeling of what I should do, what feels right, what I'm supposed to do in life. And sometimes that's necessary, like when we're at work or we're nurturing relationships. Sometimes we have to do things we don't want to do. But sometimes we don't. So I give you full permission to make choices throughout your practice, and not just this month that we're focusing on the sacral chakra, but beyond, to make choices that feel good, with the sole intention of finding pleasure in the moment. That might look like skipping chaturanga some days. It might look like taking a different expression that I'm not cueing. It might look like a whole different pose that you're just craving. So give yourself the freedom to explore today. Take a slow inhale through your nose and just feel it fill your body. A slow exhale out of your nose. Take that again, a deep breath in. Full breath out. And one more time, fill up, make it big. And then empty it out. Continue breathing with that much intention. And just arrange your feet so that they're right underneath your knees, and your feet and your knees are hip distance. And on the inhale, lift your hips up and off of your block. We'll keep the hips lifted, scoot your block out to the side. And then give your shoulders a little scooch beneath the body so you get just a little higher through the heart. Press through the feet super evenly. And then notice the space that's right beneath your belly button, about 2 inches below. That's the home of your sacral chakra. So think of that expanding right now and opening. Think of your breath being directed right to that space. We'll exit this very slowly. So try to create this articulation of every single bone in your spine, making a connection and an impression with your mat. There's the scooping of your tailbone forward as you continue to lower until everything has touched down. And then give your knees a hug in toward your chest. And feel free to make some circles through the knees, some rocks side to side. Again, the sole intention of just making choices that celebrate feeling the way we want to feel. As you scoop beneath the knees, rock yourself all the way up. You can take as many rocks as you need. We'll find tabletop on the hands and the knees. You can go ahead and hit play on the playlist if you're following along. And with the shoulders right over the wrists, the hips right over the knees, we'll make some big circles with the hips. Moving around one direction, off to the other side. And just trying to make these really expressive. We'll take a few circles the opposite direction. Try to explore the full range. So as you move the hips, you're also moving the ribs to the side. As you come forward, the heart stretching forward. And steady yourself right at center in your tabletop. And as you press into the palms and round through the spine, we'll pause here in this cat shape. And now move your ribs over to the right. And as you sink your belly toward the ground, come through cow pose, move your ribs off to the left, and then dome through the back again. So we're undulating through the spine, ribs to the right, circle the belly down, ribs to the left, round through the spine. One more, just like this, same direction. Then pause at the center in your cat pose and let's reverse it. So press your ribs to the left, scoot your belly down, ribs to the right, and round. And then 2 more times, letting the inhale come through your cow pose, and the exhale round you into cat. And 1 more time, same direction. And as you find your cat, pause here. Press through the hands, hug in through that space that's right beneath your navel. Relax the head. And then bring yourself back to a neutral spine. Shift your right toes over to the right. Step your left foot to the back of your mat and raise your left arm up to the sky. Well, let the left fingertips fall behind you. Just try to open that space across the heart and the front of the shoulders, and even the front of the hips, that low belly space. Continue here for the inhale. As you exhale, release both shins to parallel each other. Thread the needle. Loop your left arm beneath your right arm. Come down to the left shoulder and the side of the head. And we're just saying hey here for a moment, and then blossom back open to where you just were. Turn the right toes behind you, step the left foot back, raise the left arm, open the chest, breathe in. Exhale, thread the needle once again, left arm loops beneath. One more time, inhale, step the left foot back, raise the left arm, reach behind you. Exhale and thread. Hold it here in this thread and firm your outer right hip into the center of the mat. You might choose to stretch the right arm forward or bind the right hand behind the back. You might step your right foot to the back of the mat and even float your toes up and away from the ground, just paying careful attention to what's on the earth and rooting into it. Wherever you chose to go, very carefully release your limbs back down. Put the right hand in front of the nose. Inhale, rise to your tabletop shape, and exhale, round through the spine. Look inward at the navel. Inhale, sway back to a neutral spine. We'll spin your left toes to the left. Step your right foot back as you raise your right arm to the sky. And again, let that right arm fall behind you, exposing your heart in the front of the hips. Stay for an easy breath in. Exhale, release both knees to the ground. Thread your right arm beneath your left arm. Thread the needle. Just a moment to pause here. And then head right back to where you just were. Inhale, extend the right arm up. Reach back through the fingertips. Exhale, thread the needle and take it back down. Rotate. One more time. Inhale, rise up, reach back, press through the right foot. Exhale, thread the needle, and this time just linger here. And usually as we thread, the hips start to pucker a little to the left. So just firm your outer left hip in. Keep your knees and your feet apart from each other. And you could stretch the left arm forward. Maybe the left leg, you could touch the toes to the ground, or you could lift it up and away from the earth. Press through the right arm, the right shin, the right foot, so you stay rooted. If you chose to extend anything, release slowly back down to the ground. Put the left hand back in front of the nose. Inhale, rise to your tabletop. Exhale, round through the spine. Inhale, come back to neutral. Take the hands forward a couple of inches. Tuck the toes under. I have to shed my socks. Downward facing dog. Send your hips straight up and back. And in this down dog, and the option is always there to either create a little movement if that feels good, or to just relish the stillness and the chance to be, chance to breathe. Our bodies are so smart, so intuitive. They will often tell you what it is that you need. So let it be your job in this practice and beyond to truly listen to what your body and your soul are craving. It's when we resist that, what's natural, that causes imbalance, sometimes even illness. Inhale, shift forward to high plank position. Hug in through the sacral chakra area, right beneath the belly button. Let those low abs turn on. And we'll take it to the elbows, one arm at a time. Come onto the forearms, right to a forearm plank. Parallel the forearms to each other. And look right toward the thumbs. So your head isn't drooping down, but it's rather still in line with the rest of the spine. Keep pressing out of the heels and stretching the heart forward. Just take one more breath here. As you exhale, release your hips all the way down to the ground. Untuck the toes. Keep your arms exactly where they are. Right into Sphinx pose. Pull your elbows toward the back of the mat and keep stretching your heart through the shoulders. We'll press the tops of the feet down so you're nice and solid through that low body. And take the right ear, tilt it over to the right shoulder so you find a stretch in the side of the neck. Putting extra pressure into that left elbow. Roll your chin down toward your chest. And switch it up. Take your left ear to your left shoulder. Press into that right elbow. See if that can just create a little extra space between your ear and your shoulder. And then again, take your chin down toward your chest. Circle over to the right. And one more time, chin toward the chest. Circle over to the left. And as your chin dangles back down toward the ground, come all the way down to the floor. Take the hands behind you, interlace the fingers together. Stretch your knuckles backwards. Inhale, lift the chest, lift the legs, and spread out through the toes. So your inner thighs are rolling up to the sky. We're pressing down into that low belly space on the floor and continuing to expose the heart forward. Now keep everything lifted, release the hands, put them right next to your upper ribs. As the legs lower, inhale, lift the heart higher, right to cobra. Tuck the toes, exhale, drive your hips to the sky, right to down dog. Inhale, look forward at your hands. Exhale, step your feet forward all the way to the top. Feet to hip distance. Inhale, halfway for length. Exhale, fold forward over your legs. Inhale your arms to the sky as you rise all the way to stand. Exhale the hands together at the center of your heart into Tadasana. Inhale, take your arms back up. Exhale, dive forward and down. You inhale halfway, move a little bit of weight toward the balls of your feet. Exhale, fold forward, bend your knees so you can touch the earth. Put a deeper bend in the right knee. Inhale, lift your left arm and twist to the left. And lean back through the upper body. Open up across the chest. And your left hand comes back down toward the floor. Bend your left knee. Inhale. Raise your right arm. Twist to the right. That bottom left shoulder, slide away from the ear. Set your right hand back down toward the floor. Step your right foot to the back of your space. Release your knee to the floor, untuck the toes. Inhale, lift your arms all the way up to the sky. And from that low belly area, lift it up and off of the left thigh. Feel the ribs lifting up and out of your waistline. Puff your heart to the ceiling, and then see if the arms could stretch a little further back. So we have this extension through the spine. Chin might lift off your chest. You can look up. Take a breath in. Turn your palms to face away from you. Exhale, swim your arms way far back. Lean forward and then place the fingertips down. Step backwards, high plank position. Shift forward and lower down with control. Hug the elbows in. Come down to the belly, untuck the toes. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, send your hips all the way to the sky. Downward facing dog. And make your down dog stance a little bit shorter. So step your toes in toward your hands by an inch or two. And then reach your right hand for the outside of your left leg. So we're gonna twist here in this down dog. Like that. Replace your right hand back at the front of your space and switch it around. So left hand reaches across to the outside of the right leg. Place your left hand back to the front of your mat. Wiggle your toes back a couple inches. So regular down dog stance. Inhale your right leg to the sky. Exhale, step your right foot forward. Lower your back knee to the earth. Untuck the toes. Inhale, lift your arms up. And again, think of these options, these cues, as being something to provoke awareness in the body, but also, again, this freedom to explore and change the way things are for you if they feel better. You have the reins. We'll lift the low belly off the right thigh a little higher. Pick your ribs up out of your waistline. Curl your chest to the sky and see if the arms can stretch a little further back. And the gaze might drift up as you breathe in. Turn the palms to face away from you. Exhale, swim the arms back first, then forward and down to the ground. Tuck the back toes under. Take a big step forward to the front of your mat. Inhale, halfway through length. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale your arms overhead as you rise up. Exhale, place the hands together at the heart, Tadasana. Inhale, flip your arms back up. Exhale, dive forward and down. Inhale, halfway, elongate. Exhale, step your left toes back. Release your knee to the earth. Inhale, lift your arms up. Spin the palms to face away. Exhale, swim the arms way far back and then release your hands to the ground. Step backwards, high plank position. Your choice, chaturanga or to the belly, or skip it to down dog. Inhale, lift your left leg. Exhale, lightly step it forward. Release the back knee down. Inhale, lift the arms up. Stretch back a hair. Rotate the palms to face away. Exhale, big swim back as you release the hands all the way forward and down. Take a step forward, front of your mat. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. Breathe in, raise your arms up. Exhale the hands together. Separate the feet even wider to the edges of your mat, setting up for Malasana. So the toes will angle out slightly, heels in. Bend into your knees, and as you keep sinking down, keep widening the knees apart from each other. Let the elbows touch the inside of the knees and the hands smoosh together. Big happy heart. Open it up toward your thumbs. And one more deep breath here. Exhale your hands to the ground, raise your hips to the sky, draw the feet back beneath you. Big toes touch, so narrow stance. Bend your knees, inhale, lift your arms up. Slide your hands together, lean forward and twist to the right. The left elbow makes the impression. Send your hips down low as your heart and your head lift up just a hair higher. And then as you look down to the ground, lean the weight into your right foot. Shoot your left toes to the very back of your mat. And now listen closely on the inhale, unwind your spine. The hands can stay together, you're just hovering over that right thigh. Pivot over to the left. We'll swivel to the heel of your back left foot and tuck your right elbow to the inside of the right knee. And then we'll unwind and unravel back the other way. Inhale, return to center. All 10 toes go forward. Exhale, twist to the right. Inhale, unravel. Exhale, crouching low lunge to the left. That right knee stays bent. Inhale, come back to center. All 10 toes go forward. Exhale, twist right. Inhale, center. Exhale, crouch it down low to the left. Hold it here. Look at your back left toes. Rise all the way up to warrior two, back of the mat. Kick the right heel behind you. Take your arms to a big T, and you might need to lengthen that stance out a little bit to support your shape. Here we are. Shift your eyes towards your left middle finger if that feels okay with the neck. Let the breath be what you're building this pose on. So locate something that is deeper, like it's digging into the foundation for your feet. Your inhales are giving you more lift, more space, more openness. Face your left palm toward the sky. Straighten your left leg out. Inhale, reverse toward the original front of your mat. Bend your left knee. Exhale your hands to the very back of your space. Step your right foot all the way up to meet your left foot at the back of your mat. Inhale halfway. Exhale, fold. Your feet are together, bend your knees. Inhale, chair pose. Take the hands together at the heart, lean forward and twist to the left. Sink the hips down, lift the chest up, and commit to your legs hugging in toward each other. It helps in this transition to look down first. Find your balance. Look at your left foot, see it stabilize. And then step your right toes to the very back of the mat. And this twisted crescent. And now the left knee, this is going to be the knee that stays bent the whole time. That back leg stays straight the whole time. So inhale, unwind your torso to hover over the left thigh. Palms stay together. Exhale, swivel to the heel of that back right foot. Toes flare upward. And then reverse your path. Inhale, back to center. All 10 toes point backwards. Exhale, twist left. Inhale, unwind. Exhale, pivot. One more time. Inhale, unwind. Exhale, twist. Inhale, center the torso. Exhale, crouching low lunge. Hold it here. See your front right toes. Meet the ground as you bend the right knee and rise to warrior two. And then there might need to be a little stretching out of the stance. And that left heel will likely need to kick a little further behind you. So roughly, hip, knee, toes are all pointing in the same direction. So it's usually not favorable to the joints if you have something going one way and something going the other. Find your gaze, your focal point, your steadiness. Part of our sacral chakra is about our right to feel. And that doesn't always mean feeling great, right? It means feeling what we feel. And a lot of times we think our feelings. Like you might say, I feel angry, I feel frustrated, but we're not feeling the feeling. Where do we feel it in the body? When something arises, when an emotion takes hold. So give yourself permission. Like, I'm feeling angry at Jenna for talking this whole time while I'm a warrior too. Maybe feel what arises in the body. Give it a nod of acknowledgement. Straighten out front leg, inhale, reverse toward the back of the room. So it's when we dampen our feelings, when we ignore them, that's when trouble usually ensues. And sometimes our feelings will yell loud enough at us, bend the front knee, cartwheel the hands down, step forward, that our body forces us to make some changes. Feet together, inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold forward. Bend your knees, breathe in, take your arms up, chair pose. Slide your hands together, exhale, twist to the right. Inhale, look down. Exhale, shoot your left toes back. Inhale, unwind the torso to center. Exhale, pivot, find your crouching low lunge. Toward the back of the mat, warrior two, rise up, kick the right heel behind. Straighten that left leg, inhale, reverse. Bend your left knee, and this time exhale your left elbow to the top of the thigh, your right arm all the way over the ear, side angle. And if you want to take a bind, if that feels good, take it. A half bind, use a block beneath your left hand. Give yourself the right to explore. Keep pressing through the outer edge of that back right foot and extend out of the right fingertips. And imagine someone's having a gentle tug of war with your right hand and your right foot. Maximum length in that right edge. Look down at the ground. Inhale, lower your hands to the floor. Exhale, pick your left leg all the way up to the sky behind you. Stack your hips, bend your knee, and open up through that left side. And inhale, straighten the left leg, square the hip. Exhale, step your left foot to the outside of the left hand. And step your right foot to the outside of the right hand. Bend your knees, sink down to Malasana and hold here. So option one might be to stay here in Malasana. Option two, if you want to work on a crow pose, feel free. But what I invite you to consider is what you want to do. Not what you should do, or are supposed to do, or what you did last week. What is it that you want? And then honor that. Sometimes we want to feel strong. Sometimes we want to feel relaxed. Sometimes we want to just be. In a world where production is valued, results are valued, sometimes nice to find the joy and the simplicity of not doing. Wherever you chose to go, we'll meet in a forward fold at the back of the mat. Draw your feet all the way together. Bend your knees. Inhale, float your arms up to chair pose. Hands together at the heart. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale, look to the floor. Keep the left foot there. Exhale your right foot back. Inhale, unravel the torso. Exhale, crouching low lunge, pivot. To the front of the mat, inhale, rise up. Warrior two, drive the left heel behind you. Straighten the front leg, inhale, reverse triangle. Bend your right knee, exhale, side angle. So that left arm's reaching forward, your palms facing down. And if you have a tendency to hold tension in the shoulders and neck, notice if they're scrunching here. Drive the shoulders down and back, make some room. And then sink into that front knee till you feel your legs start to come alive. Take whatever variation you chose before. If you're staying here with me, again, put that emphasis on the reach out of the fingers, press into the outer edge of that back foot. And can you notice, just by thinking about them pulling in opposite directions, does that give you a different feeling in the body? And how cool is that? How powerful are our minds? Inhale, release your hands down to the ground. Exhale, kick the right leg all the way up behind you. Stack the hips, bend the right knee, open up through that right side. And inhale, straighten up through the right hip. Level things out. Exhale, step your right foot to the outside of the right hand. And then the left foot to the outside of the left hand. Bend your knees, sink the hips, Malasana. Round two for crow pose if you'd like to take it, or if you'd like to take a different expression. So maybe you try heading toward tripod headstand like we did last class. Maybe you try the jump back to chaturanga, or maybe you just chill with me in Malasana for a little extra time to breathe into the hips. Hips are like a kind of shared territory between the root and sacral chakras, the first and second. And oftentimes our chakras, the one that's above or below, will influence the other. So sometimes if one is really deficient, the one above it or below it might be more excessive. Sometimes, not always the case, but something interesting to explore. If you're still here with me, we are going to meet in downward facing dog. So those who are in crow, feel free to add your jump back. If you'd like to step back and add in a chaturanga, you're welcome to it. Notice why you make your choices. Inhale, lift your right leg to the sky. Exhale, step your right foot forward. Lower the back knee to the ground, but keep the toes tucked under. Inhale, lift the arms up, stretch a little further back like we did at the start of class. Exhale, straighten through the front leg, flare your toes up and reach your arms back. Your left toes are still curled under. Rebend the front knee. Inhale, lift all the way up, high lunge, float the back knee. Hands to the heart, lean forward, exhale, twist to the right. Inhale, rise up to center, find your high lunge. Exhale, pull the left knee up toward the chest and find balance. Now cross your ankle over your right thigh, bend into your left knee or your right knee and take your hands together. So seeing what's happening in our outer left hip now. Keep hugging your hips toward each other. So I might not actually see that happening if I were to look at you, but energetically things are pulling into the midline. Your left toes are awake. Now we'll keep leaning forward and really challenge the balance here as you unhook the left ankle toward warrior three. Kick your left leg straight back. Lean your heart forward. Straighten that top left leg. And now move the right hand to the floor, over to the right or to your block. Open up through the hips, lift your left arm to the sky, right to half moon. Soften a little into your right knee. Take a big step back toward warrior two as you rise up. Straighten the right leg, turn the right toes in. Inhale, lift your arms up for a moment. Turn your left toes to the back of the mat. Exhale, warrior two to the rear of your space. Keep the front knee bent. Inhale, reverse, stretch back, reverse warrior. Exhale, your hands down around the left foot at the back of the mat. Now look at your right foot and hop it in about a foot and over to the right slightly. Turn your right toes forward and try to square your right hip with your left hip. So pyramid pose. Draw the heart forward. Take a big breath in to get long. Exhale, fold over that left leg. Now I fully realize that when I'm saying, do what you want, do what would feel good, sometimes that means we can also lose the discipline, right? We can lose the heat. We can kick things to the curb if we just don't feel like it. So notice that that's what's happening. And some days that's great. I'm saying that because we're heading toward revolved pyramid and I absolutely hate this pose. So if I'm like, dude, it feels good, I'd probably skip it, but I'm gonna try this on. So let's do it together. Take your right hand to the inside or outside of the left foot, and you could use that block if you'd like. Take your left hand to your left hip, and now move your left hip to the back of the mat, stretch the heart forward, and start rotating your heart to the left. And you might arrange that left arm to reach all the way up. You're listening to the playlist. The song's titled Easy. I'll just embody that mindset here. One more breath in. And we'll just stay here for the exhale, try to rotate a little further. And look down, inhale, lower the hands to the floor. Exhale, step backwards, either for chaturanga or for down dog. Inhale, take your left leg to the sky. Exhale, step your left foot forward. And keep those back right toes tucked under, but release the right knee. Inhale, lift the arms all the way up. Stretch a little further back. Expose the belly. Exhale, straighten that front left leg. Turn your toes to the sky as your arms reach back. So those back toes are tucked. Press to head right to high lunge. Bend the left knee. Inhale, float the right knee. Rise up high. Stamp into the left foot. Inhale, lift your right knee up toward your heart. Hook your ankle. Bend your left knee and take your hands together. Then firm your outer hips in. Hug your navel backwards toward your spine. Soften the shoulders. Okay, we'll keep this balance a little bit longer. As you unhook the right ankle, you're just kind of breezing by warrior three. Kick the right heel behind you, hinge your heart a little further forward. Then take your left hand down to the floor or block. Open your hips, raise your right arm and find Ardha Chakrasana, half moon. Flex through the right ankle, engage through the right muscles of the right leg. I find it helps just to look at the back of the mat where you want the right foot to land for warrior two. So as you soften the left knee, take a big step back with that right foot, soft landing to rise up. Straighten the left leg. Inhale, lift the arms. Flip flop the feet. Exhale, warrior two to the original front of your mat. Keep that right knee bent. Inhale, reverse warrior. Stretch up and back. Drive the shoulders out of the ears. Exhale your hands down and around that front right foot. Lift your left foot behind you. Hop it in to the left slightly and turn the left toes forward while still trying to anchor the heel down. So the left hip's working to point down to the floor. Your right hip is trying to pull away from the right armpit. Inhale to get a little more space and length. Exhale, fold over that right leg and relax the head. And you can see the inner thighs, right? The inseam of your pants. See if it can roll literally toward the back of the mat. Press to the outer edge of the left foot. And then just see what it's like. And I could just be projecting here. So if you love revolved triangle, I'm sorry for giving you my tainted perspective on it. But if you share this disdain with me, then try on what it's like to just choose a mind of ease amidst the challenge. Stretch the heart forward. Take your left hand to the inner or outer edge of the right foot. Take the right hand to the right hip. Stretch your right hip to the back of the mat. Roll the right shoulder open. Maybe raise the right arm. Breathe where you are. Choose the breath. Still here for a full breath cycle, a full inhale to create more space, and a full exhale to continue that rotation exploration. Look down, inhale, lower your hands. Exhale, step backwards. Whew, chaturanga if you want. Skip it if you want. And we'll meet in our down dog. As you look at your hands, slide your left knee behind your left wrist for pigeon. Take your right leg back behind you. And then pop to the fingertips and just breathe into that whole front side of the body. Exhale, lengthen the spine as you come down to the elbows. Maybe your head comes down to the floor or to a block. Think of this space as a transitional one where you can slip away from the effort and slip into the softness. Scan the body for spaces that are working that don't have to be. Make a conscious choice to relax them. Last 2 moments here. Breathe in, rise up to your hands. Exhale, back to down dog. And take any counter that you'd like. If you want to add in a chaturanga, if you want to stretch your left leg to the sky, dog. As you look forward, guide your right knee behind your right wrist. Straighten the left leg out behind you. You can glance at it to see that it's right behind that hip bone. And as you rise to fingertips, take a breath into that front side. Exhale, crawl it forward and come all the way down to your fold. Inhale, return back up to your hands. Exhale to down dog. For your final transition, final counter pose before we head onto our backs. So choose anything that is calling to you that would provide balance. As you look forward, step or hop to a seat at the front of your mat. Come all the way down to your back. And if you need anything for Shavasana, take it with you. And let's meet with the soles of the feet together, your knees apart, and your hands just resting right beneath your navel, right on that sacral chakra space. We explore what's surrounded in this chakra. Ideas of feelings, what we allow and don't allow. Desires, what we allow and don't allow. Our ability to find joy and pleasure in life. Notice your relationship to all of these posed questions and what it drums up for you. You are the only one who knows if something is balanced or unbalanced, open or closed, deficient or excessive or not. And the only way you know it is by examining it. Without judgment and with only curiosity, give yourself the permission to explore and examine this space that makes up a part of who you are. Listen into your body and what it's asking for. And trust it. If it's needing another pose before Shavasana, take it. If it wants to stay here for Shavasana, do so. If you'd like to lengthen the legs and the arms, you could do that as well. And this final resting space, let it be about comfort. Finding joy in the simple moment of lying on the ground together, without needing to achieve or produce or create, without needing to say anything or think anything or solve anything. All you have to do is just rest. Breathe in, try to fill the low belly space first. And fill up from there. Exhale out of the chest and all the way down into the sacral chakra. Reawaken your fingers and your toes. Again, give yourself permission to reawaken in the way that it feels right and good to you. We'll meet in a fetal position on one side. We'll just linger here for a few extra seconds. Let these moments be moments where you get to set the tone for the rest of your day and your week. You get to decide what would make you feel good, what would bring you joy and pleasure. And can you allow yourself to either think those thoughts or take those actions to support that coming to life? As you rise all the way up to a seat, connect your hands together at your heart. Bow in the direction of them. With honor to yourself, your continued exploration of this practice. And to each other for making this possible. For creating these experiences together. Namaste.